Greetings all my Jedi Knights and Fremen friends. This is the Vidra Network. Thanks for taking the time to check us out today. If you have the opportunity, please share this video with your friends, family, and maybe a few of your enemies if you're so inclined. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars. And in particular we're going to talk about Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One. I thought it was appropriate with the new movie coming up. And being the holiday season, I would give you a little gift, tell you a little story about the Chosen One prophecy. So, according to the prequel movies, the prophecy was about the one who would bring balance to the Force, and Qui-Gon Jinn very much so believed that when he met little boy Anakin, that he was the one to do that. Of course, his midichlorian count was off the charts. He had no father. And it kind of fit in with all the prophecies that Qui-Gon Jinn was so into when he met Anakin. Now, since then, there's been quite a few things that have happened. Number one, in the Clone Wars cartoon, we find Anakin and Obi-Wan going to a far-off planet and meeting these celestial beings called the Ones. Now, these are supposedly the first beings that were created, and these were the embodiment of the Force. You had the son, which was the embodiment of the dark side. You had the daughter, which was the embodiment of the light side. And then the father, of course, was the one that kept the balance. According to the new revised prophecy, Anakin was to take the father's place when he died, and that's how he would restore the balance to the Force. Now, very recently a book was written. It is part of the Disney canon, and we have the full version of what that prophecy is. Hold your horses, hold on to something, sit down. It's a doozy of a ride. It's entirely, extremely too long, clocking in at a whole one sentence. The prophecy reads, "The chosen one will come, born of no father. Through him will ultimate balance and the Force be restored." That's it. It's extremely vague. No telling of where he will come from, what planet it will be, what kind of lineage he will have, what he will do to prove that he is the chosen one. Nothing. Zero. That is the whole statement. Literally, anybody could claim to be the chosen one and have Force powers and have a valid claim, really, at that point. Now, the prophecy of the Fremen in the Dune franchise is a little more crisp and clean. The Fremen believe in the prophecy of the Muad'Dib. This would be a character who would bring their salvation and bring water to the planet Arrakis, the Dune planet. Now, this prophecy has got a little bit more detail in it. We know that Muad'Dib would not be born out of Arrakis. He would come from another planet. And that he would be born from a Bene Gesserit priestess, which at the time of the Dune movies and books, the Bene Gesserits were not allowed to bear male children. They could only bear female children. So that's a little bit more specific. You gotta have some detail there. Well, let's kind of come up to some other prophecy. The Old Testament, the Torah, contains probably somewhere around 300 prophecies about the Messiah. And they are very detailed. Where he will be born, his lineage of where he would be born, the things that he would say, the things that he would do. It's pretty specific. Now, some scientists ran down some numbers, some mathematicians got together, and they figured out of these 300 prophecies, if one person were to try to fulfill only 8 of these prophecies, it would be a chance of 1 in 100 quadrillion. I know, it took me a really hard time to figure that word out. That's a lot of zeros. 1 in 100 quadrillion chances of one person fulfilling only 8 of the 300 prophecies. Now, let's step it up. Let's go to 48. It would be 1 in 10 to the 157th power. So again, 8 prophecies out of 300, it would be 1 in 100 quadrillion that one single person could do that, fulfill them completely. If you wanted to up that to 48 of the 300 plus, it would be 1 in 10 to the 157th power. That's a lot more zeros, man. Think about that. One person to fulfill all those prophecies. And some of them not even in a person's control. Like who his family was, where he would be born, what would happen before he was able even to walk. All these things prophesied hundreds and hundreds of years prior to his birth. And that's what Jesus did. Something to think about. If you have some questions, if you have some comments, leave them below. And again, thanks for checking us out. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and of course, JLY.